Dr. Ratner, could you briefly describe the United States' role in the 1962 border conflict between China and India under President Kennedy?
Congressman, I'll have to get back to you on the precise history on that.
The gist of it is that President Kennedy and the United States supported India in that conflict. And then when there was the border conflict in the June of 2020, when China violated the line of control, could you briefly describe the United States' role at that point?
Yes, Congressman, I wasn't in the seat at the time, but as I recently mentioned, the United States did rapidly provide certain intelligence and capabilities.
Did Russia do anything to protect India when China was violating the line of control, to your knowledge?
Not to my knowledge.
And did Russia, to your knowledge, do anything to protect India in 1962 when China violated the line of control?
Congressman, I'd be happy to get back to you on that.
To my knowledge, they didn't. And so both times when there has been a border dispute with India and China, it's the United States actually that has come to India's defense. And so I guess I'm perplexed why, I say this as an Indian American, why India has abstained 3 times from the Security Council and is unwilling to condemn Putin's unprovoked aggression into Ukraine. Do you have a view on this, and has this been raised at the highest levels with the Indian government?
Congressman, I know we've been engaging with Indian leadership about this issue, and as I mentioned earlier in response to a question, we're aware that India has a long history and complicated economic and security partnership with the Russians. They receive a majority of their weapons from Russia historically, and that's something they've been working hard to wean themselves from. But defer to them to speak on their own exact decision-making on this.
There's 60% of weapons from Russia, but I guess let me ask you this. Do you think the United States or Russia are more likely to come to India's defense if the Chinese were to invade beyond the line of control?
The United States, Congressman.
Has that point been made to India?
Congressman, we are in deep strategic conversations about the future of our partnership with India. Like I said, we have our most senior level dialogue with the Indians next month, in which Secretary Austin and Secretary Blinken will have an opportunity to speak with their counterparts about these critical issues.
What is the plan for India to get off the 60% reliance on Russian arms, and how fast can that happen if they wanted to switch to getting weapons from the United States or European allies?
Congressman, again, this is obviously a sovereign decision for the Indians. What we are encouraging them to do is to purchase more American capabilities, as you mentioned, work with other third parties, Europeans and others, and improve their own indigenization of their own defense sector. So those trends together are already underway. If you look over the last several years, the trend lines are moving in the right direction. I don't have an answer for a particular day on the calendar as to when they achieve a certain benchmark.
But putting aside what their own decision-making is, how quickly could it happen if they said, we want to switch as fast as possible? I mean, what would you say is a reasonable rate of reducing Russian dependence? I mean, could we get that number down 10% every year? Or what is a reasonable target if they said they wanted to do it?
Congressman, I'd be happy to get you a more precise answer to that question. I think it depends a lot on the nature of the specific capability, from munitions all the way up to much higher end capabilities.
I appreciate that. I'll just conclude by saying that I think it's obvious that the United States would stand against Chinese aggression on the line of control far more than Russia or Putin would, and that we really need to press India to not be as dependent on Russian defense and to be willing to condemn Putin's aggression in Ukraine, just like we would condemn Chinese aggression beyond the line of control. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.